Hello, I wanted to let you know that weapon XP in the co-op operations seems to have been buffed. I was just thinking, it's been a while since I tested it. They do love making stealth changes, even though it's very annoying. And then I was prompted on Twitter to look into it. Thank you, Mr. Michael. And yes, it looks like the weapon XP has been roughly doubled in Special Ops. It sounds like a lot, but it was absolute trash to begin with, so it really isn't a lot. I tried a few things. First, I got only one kill with each gun, and it wasn't as simple as seeing 5 XP per kill anymore. I got 9 XP for a P90 kill, and 14 XP for an M19 kill. A lot of my guns are maxed, so I can't do a ton of testing here, and there could be something more complicated going on that would take a lot of time to isolate because of how the whole game has to play out. I can't just try one thing and leave. But I did another longer test of getting tons of kills with the P90 only to simulate normal gameplay, and my long average was around 8 XP per kill with the P90. I was hoping it would get higher as you got deeper into the operation, but it was actually getting farther away from being doubled. So was it buffed? Yeah, seems like it was. Is it good now? Well, no. To update our old XP chart, we're now looking at something like this, still around 10 to 20% the rate of normal multiplayer gameplay, and now we have shipment too, raising the multiplayer ceiling massively. That's just an estimated range based on the number of kills I typically got per game. Plus, you aren't progressing any of the challenges themselves in Spec Ops, so definitely not efficient. The XP is a little better now, and the character XP rate is still good in co-op, so if you were looking for a reason to try it, sure, you could unlock some initial attachments maybe before going into multiplayer, but that's about it. You know my thoughts about this. I think it should be around a third to a half as efficient as multiplayer, since it makes sense for PvP to be more rewarding, but you do still have to do the challenges in multiplayer anyway. It wouldn't be a big deal for co-op to be a bit more competitive for ranking up weapons. And ideally, I think Spec Ops should have its own camo system with its own challenges and a separate mastery camo. That'd be a fun thing to hunt for if you like Spec Ops. Add a small collection of mastery challenges to make for actual replayability, similar to the Zombies mastery camos and challenges last year in BO4, and difficulty options would be nice too, where you make faster or slower challenge progress depending on the difficulty, but without any of those long-term goals, co-op gets old pretty quick. Now on to Shipment. Speaking of weapon XP, I wanted to also give a Shipment review. It is the undisputed king for XP grinding. If you want to max out some guns, it is the place to be, especially with double weapon XP right now from Friday to Monday. We currently have a Shipment plus Vacant Mosh Pit playlist for both core and hardcore. I disagree with that bundling because they are two completely different experiences. I'm sure there are people who want to play Vacant and think Shipment is stupid. Then there are other people who only want to grind Shipment and have no interest in playing Vacant, resulting in tons of quitting when you're thrown into whatever you don't want. And yet they said they don't want map voting because that leads to people leaving the lobby when they don't get the map they want. Yeah, okay, so just throw people in a game they don't want to play and have them leave in-game instead of in the lobby. Great solution. I think a lot of frustration and chicken sacrifices could be avoided if there were two playlists, one being Crash and Vacant, the other being Shipment and Shoot House, and they can keep adding small maps like Rust in the future to that Chaos playlist to keep that type of map away from the people who hate it and available for the people who want it. Bundling an insane action map with a normal-sized throwback map in Vacant, don't know about that. Well, here's a little tip. If you're having a hard time finding the map you want, like if you want Shipment and you've only been finding Vacant lobbies for 5 to 10 minutes solid, backing out of dozens of pregame lobbies, well, that means you've encountered maybe over 100 people who are also searching for a game in that playlist. So you should check your recent players, and you'll often find somebody who has found a Shipment game. Scroll down looking for joinable, check the map and the mode, preferably not TDM or kill confirmed because it'll be over in 2 minutes, hardly worth loading in. But you can get in a game that way. I don't approve of some ways recent players can be abused, but as a way to pick a map and a game mode, it's amazing, very helpful when all you can find is a map you don't want to play. As far as my thoughts on Shipment itself, well, it's horrible. I have fun on it because it is very efficient grind-wise. There is non-stop action, and it isn't like I care about my stats at all, especially in this game where I'm just as happy about a death as a kill. Gotta keep my stats in order after all, don't want to be punished for getting better. But if we're talking actual gameplay experience, it's non-existent. It doesn't feel like gameplay. For the first time, it is only a meat grinder. And if you say, oh, it's Shipment, what did you expect? It's always been like that. No, you're just wrong. Of course, Shipment has always been the Chaos grind map, but not like this. I played Shipment 1944 almost exclusively up to level 1000 in COD World War II, and it honestly played pretty well in that game. As far as Shipment goes, it was balanced, the flow was predictable, the spawns were almost always safe. There was the mounted LMG wallbang spawn trap stuff at first, but they patched that. You needed an extremely coordinated team to set up any kind of spawn trap on that map. But the Modern Warfare spawns are an absolute disaster. It is mind-boggling. I don't know how they screwed up the spawn system this much. You spawn next to people and people spawn right in front of you the entire game. I hear complaints about spawns every year, but in previous years, it was once in a blue moon that you watched somebody spawn. In Modern Warfare, even on some other maps, it isn't that rare, and on Shipment, it's beyond the pale. It feels 100% random. Like if you told me there is literally zero consideration for if an enemy is nearby or has a line of sight on your spawn, I'd believe it. This was a 9 times kill chain where I died in the middle of the chain and kept it going because the spawns are that dumb. I don't need to cherry pick examples. You can just play one game and see it for yourself. It isn't even that there are no safe spawns available. Like here, this person spawns right in front of me when it looks like the whole left half of the map is open. My team is all on the right. There's a safe enclosed container over there on the left. Why right in front of me? And in the same game, this dude resurrects out of the ground in front of me when even the container on my left would have been better, or the entire back right corner, or any of the 3 dead-end containers. So why right in front of me? It's like the spawn logic purposefully ignores the safest spawns to make for more action, which is good for some maps. You don't want the safest possible spawn when that means you're in the very back somewhere and you have to hike every life. But on Shipment, there is no hiking, so it should be picking the safest possible spawn every single time, and it clearly isn't. Also, they added more spawn points, like in the middle of the lanes, where you're exposed from everywhere instead of having your back to a wall, and you just die immediately every time. There was a formula that really worked on this map, with safe spawns in the corners and in the containers. How did it go so terribly wrong? Like, it has to be on purpose. So the beyond insane spawns are why this doesn't feel like gameplay. Nothing is predictable, you have no control over most of your deaths because a whole enemy squadron can spawn on top of you at any time. And I really think it is all about the spawns. The changes they made to the map layout, I don't agree with all of them, but honestly they're not the problem. The rotation of the whole map is a bit disorienting, but people rarely hop up on top of the crates. The changes I'm fine with. And you might also think about the fact that we have modern kill streaks now. Also not the problem. World War II had some big bomber things and the fire bombing and the ball turret gunner. It's 100% on the spawns for making this insane. But hey, as I said, I still have fun on it, because there are 2 ways I get enjoyment out of this game. One is taking it seriously. I think it's a ton of fun to play with a friend, get in a party, and go for the win, mainly in S&D, cyber attack, and gunfight. The gunfight tournament was a ton of fun. I love actually using a headset for once, and trying hard to win, using all the callouts. It's really fun to actually take the game seriously. Then the other way I enjoy the game is when I'm solo and I just want to mindlessly grind out challenges and XP, and for that, all I want to do is watch a show on the other screen and be in the action, and Shoot House and Shipment are great for that. What I don't enjoy is the middle ground. I don't want to hop on to Arklov Peak Hardpoint and be hiking to the objective, making really slow challenge progress and not caring about the win at all, running around and dying because I'm impatient and not being tactical enough. Also always worrying about my background elo, so I don't really care if I do well or not. I love going tryhard in a competitive game type, but I don't want to do that all the time. So that's why I love Shipment, even though it is terrible, especially this year. Honestly, it's unplayable, but at the same time, extremely playable. So I don't know what I just said, but that's what I'm thinking about Shipment. I do wish it felt more like gameplay that you have control over, like it did in World War II, and like it does on Shoot House. Shoot House is objectively much better than Shipment. I hope they realize they accidentally replaced the spawn algorithm with a random number generator, and they can get that little issue fixed. But either way, that isn't going to stop me from playing it. Well, good luck with your double weapon XP this weekend. Max out whatever you can. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.